Good morning, everyone. I am looking at descriptive writing this morning and ensuring that we understand how to use descriptive writing in our stories. So when we write our story, we need to ensure that we are able to clearly describe the people, the places, the things, and events in our story by using the five senses. And the five senses ensures that we are able to vividly and clearly see all the things that are happening in our story so that the person that is reading our story has a clear picture in their mind of the people, the places, and events that are taking place. When we are describing, we describe characters, we describe places, and we describe series of events, things that are happening in the story. And I'm going to break down each one for you. Describing a person in the story has a physical description. Go and look at yourself in the mirror. All right, beautiful girl, handsome boy, wears glasses, does not wear glasses, has long hair, short hair, thin, thick, tall, short. Those are the physical descriptions. Personality, are you kind? Are you smart? Are you generous? Are you boastful? Are you a person that everyone likes? Are you a person that nobody likes? And what do you think about yourself? That will be the personality and the way people think about you. So you have a man in a village and the man lives alone. What There must be an idea of how everyone else in the village feels about that person. Is he smart? Is he kind to everyone? What is the feelings that surround that person? Here's a description of Boo Radley. He is a person in this book, To Kill a Mockingbird, that people have not seen for many, many years. Now, Jim Flinch is a little boy in the story, and because he's a very young boy, he has never seen Boo Radley before. But there is clearly people in the village thinks about him a particular way, and they have told Jim about him, and Jim now has created in his mind an imaginary physical description, an idea about what Boo Radley looks like. Please read carefully. Here's another description of Harry Potter. Now this is a real idea in the story of what Harry looks like. You know, a physical description of Harry, what Harry looks like, and this would be at the age of 10 or 11 years old. And you get a clear idea of what Harry looks like. Now, very important in our story to clearly describe people so that our readers get a physical description, yes, but they also, we read stories and we look at books to, like our heroes, hate our villains. You know, you may see one movie with a person that was, the hero in the story, and you like that person a lot, but you see them in a different movie and you really don't like them because of the way that they act. So we describe people clearly so our readers could really, really like them or really, really hate them. Have you ever looked at a movie and you're just like, oh my God, why doesn't somebody just kill this guy already? That is the way that the person is described. Tells me that you really don't like that person. In a different movie, that same exact actor, that actor is going to act and you're going to really, really like him. And that depends on not just physical description, but personality, the type of person he is. When we describe places, we create a scene or an atmosphere for our readers. Please pause if you need to. When describing when you're describing places, you have to have a clear picture in your mind of the place. Remember, if you are drawing this picture or painting a picture of, let us say, a haunted house, there must be a place you are standing at a street corner looking at the haunted house. What can you see? You will see certain things close to you, far away from you, and you take your time, close your eyes, picture that place, and start writing for the person who is reading it what everything around you looks like. Now, I want you to read this carefully and make sure you understand it. Vantage point is where you are standing while you are describing. And then there is an atmosphere. That is the whole point of describing a place. A lovely day at the beach, I must feel excited and happy to go to that place. A scary haunted house, I must feel, dude, I want to get out of here now. So you have to be able to describe for the person and make them understand the atmosphere of that place. Nice atmosphere, scary atmosphere, happy atmosphere, sad atmosphere. Describe carefully, right? Daylight in a cemetery can be very sad. You're seeing a funeral happening in front of you. Dark, cold, lonely night in a cemetery can be scary, right? A lovely ocean, you're out in the ocean and it is bright and blue. You're having a nice time fishing. If the weather turns and starts getting rough, you start getting scared. You have to be able to describe. How you are describing is very important. This is what you use. You use imagery. Imagery is senses of sound, touch, sight, taste, smell. These words here are very good. You need to learn them. So imagery of sound, the rattle of something, the tapping of something, the sight. How do you describe grass? How do you describe the night? How do you describe the day? How do you describe how things taste? Very important to use imagery. And we are going to do another session on figurative language. So you will hold on that. But I'm sure you should be aware of what is a simile, a metaphor, and personification. We will look further on those later on. This is a physical description of what Hogwarts in Harry Potter looks like. This is the place. Please read it carefully. Here is another description of Boo Radley's house, the way the house looks. Please read this carefully as well, and when you are finished reading it, look at this picture. This is what the movie, the picture of Boo Radley's house in the movie looked like, and tell me if this looks like this. Describing an event. When we describe an event, we need to understand that this is where the plot comes in. A plot in a story is the skeletal outline of the story. It has an introduction where we set up a scene, initiating event that gets the story going, crisis, our problem in our story, climax, excitement, conclusion, how everything ends. So it's very important to remember this is the skeletal outline. This is how our storyline goes. Descriptive writing is the ability to show a reader with proper description, make them clearly feel as though they are seeing every single thing that is happening. A story is basic. A story has a place, time, and weather that the story is taking place. So, stormy night in a cemetery. That would be a setting. I have a place, I have time, I have weather. Initiating event is I was with my friends and I got lost. Crisis, now that I'm lost, I'm hearing sounds, I see shadows, I try to get away from whatever seems to be following me. Climax, I find myself fighting for my life because some sort of zombie is trying to kill me. And then conclusion, how that all ends. That is a basic storyline. And yes, I made it all up as I went along. But when I use descriptive writing, when I show readers sense of smell, touch, taste, sound, when I show personification and similes and use figurative language, that really makes the reader want to hear more. want to see what is going to happen next. And that is what descriptive writing is about. It is about ensuring that whoever is reading our story gets a clear picture of the story. I remember hearing, people reading books and not wanting to put the book down, wanting to read page after page because it is well described. I have also heard people, crying because they are reading a book and somebody dies, you know. But when you're reading it, why would you cry if it's not described properly? It is the way that it is described. You have read books, you have read, seen movies, and in those things, it is the full description that really gets us. And that is what we are looking at when we describe events in our story. Please pause this and read it carefully. It is a description of an event. I'm going to look at this again, but I want to show you how the person used personification in particular to show a clear description. Now, Inkheart has a character in it by the name of Dustfinger, and he is a fire breather. And he also has mythical powers, and because of that, he is able to tame the flame properly. But look at this here. He looked as happy as a child playing with a pet animal. That is what? If I pause, you tell me what it is. If you said simile, you are correct. The fire licked his skin like something living. Pause again. What is that? Yes, personification. So read it carefully and start looking for similes and personification. And that is how the person takes their time to describe. The final notes for you to read. Make sure if you understand the 5 notes, then you understood all that I have said to you thus far. What I want you to note though, yes, I know that you do not have time to write because it's 50 minutes. But as I said, you have to write in such a way that you are descriptive. You cannot write 10 paragraphs, I understand that. It's not a book you are writing, I understand that. It is only 5 paragraphs you are writing and you only have a certain amount of time. I do understand that. However, one little word in your story, one little phrase in your story in the correct place can create a whole character, can create a whole description of an event. So yes, you have to carry on your story. And if you remember, I said every paragraph in a story must have 3 things. If I pause there, can you name the 3 things? The 3 things are things that are happening in the story. It is a series of events, actions. Number 2, a setting or atmosphere in the story. And number 3, how do you feel as you go through the story? So if you clearly sit and write, take your time and write for someone. You are at the beach, you go into the water, you start to drown, somebody saves you. That there is your storyline. Background is important. This is what descriptive writing helps. What type of day is it? Is it sunny? What is the weather? Is the beach crowded? Is it Sunday? How does the water feel? What does the sky look like? All those things don't matter in terms of are you going to drown or not? But whoever is reading it, yes, they want to find out if you're going to drown or if you're going to live. Yes. But they will not feel as though they are part of this story if you do not clearly describe for them everything that is happening around you. The place, the people, and the weather. So you have to be able to use descriptive writing. Can the person at the end of your story see, smell, taste, touch, feel everything around them? Can they hear everything around them, right? And as I said, we're going to do personification, metaphors, similes. I'll do a lot of those with you in a different presentation. But for now, please review this one carefully and understand clearly how to use descriptive writing in your stories.